Welcome. In this second episode of Church Art Explained, we'll be taking a closer look at our beloved patron, St. Peter. And so, without further ado, let us begin. St. Peter is almost always easily recognized. Since about the 4th century, he began to be portrayed with a short, square beard, as is demonstrated in this image. Since about the 6th century in the West, he's been portrayed with a set of keys as a sign of the papal authority. Likewise, you'll notice in his hands is a copy of the sacred scriptures. Keep an eye out for these 3 attributes of Peter in the images to come.
We'll begin with this stained glass image, which is just inside the church on the left. It was donated by the church committees of San Pedro, and it portrays St. Peter in a very classical way. It contains the basic images which we have just discussed. The keys are noted just here. They have undergone some fading and will require some restoration. They do likewise have a copy of the scriptures, either in a scroll or a book. Peter is depicted with a short beard, and then a classical combination of 2 different colors. In this depiction, you will notice it is red and blue. Other depictions, as we'll show just shortly, are red and green and gold and blue. The earliest images of St. Peter, as in the case of the stained glass window at the entrance of the church, portray St. Peter with a full head of hair. This statue, on the other hand, is most likely a representation which was first made after the 400s. For this, we can thank St. Jerome, who, in one of his writings that regarded St. Peter, alluded to an assertion that he was bald. Medieval portraits will often show him balding from the back of his head, sometimes with a tuft of hair on his forehead, as is depicted here. Now, the pagans of Antioch were said to have cut off the part of Peter's hair to do him despite and the same, meaning this was a way of making fun of Peter or shaming Peter. And so here Peter is portrayed with the very marking of the sufferings which he would have endured.
And so here we take a closer look at the bald depiction of Peter, the tuft of hair remaining after he was shamed by the pagans, the keys to the kingdom handed to Peter by the Lord Jesus, the sacred scriptures here in book form. Last but certainly not least is the combination of green and red, one of the 3 more popular colors which you will see among artists who depict St. Peter. In this image, the Lord Jesus hands Peter the keys to the kingdom. You'll notice he's portrayed in blue and gold, likewise with a short square beard and a balding head. A slight variation of the gold and blue, likewise with the keys and sacred scriptures. Here, a very famous painting where Peter is said to be fleeing from Rome and the Lord Jesus is heading towards Rome. And Peter asked the Lord, "Where are you going?" Or in Latin, "Quo vadis?" And Peter says, "I'm going back to die for you." It is a startling reminder of our mission and how our mission always involves a carrying of the cross. Notice the keys on Peter's hip, the blue and gold vestments which Peter is wearing, and again, the same depiction of beard. One more interesting aspect of portrayal of Peter is that he is almost always portrayed crucified upside down. Church history teaches us that Peter, when he was about to be crucified, he said he was unworthy of such a death as the Lord died. And so he asked if he could please be crucified upside down. And his request was honored when he was martyred in Rome. One last final aspect of portrayal of Peter is you will notice the neck and chest adornments with crosses. This is a pallium, or it's a depiction given to popes, now presently archbishops, and it is made out of the wool of a sheared sheep. What this symbolized was Peter's papal authority, or Peter's authority as a bishop and the pastor or shepherd of many, according to the Lord's call to feed his sheep. And we'll quickly return to this image where you see Peter next to St. Paul. St. Peter and St. Paul share the same feast day on June 29th, which will be falling on the upcoming Monday. And the Wednesday after, we'll have the pleasure of discussing St. Paul. Go ahead and take a quick look at what he carries inside his hands and the clothes he is wearing, his beard and his hair, because you'll see much more of them in an upcoming episode of San Pedro Church Art Explained. God bless you.